Dear Equestria's Elite Gossip Gazette, I must say, your latest article has opened my eyes to a truth that has left me sickened and disgusted. The shocking details you've uncovered about Princess Twilight Sparkle's secret relationship are nothing short of scandalous. It's clear now that Princess Twilight has let her personal attachment to a single pony cloud her judgment and responsibilities as a ruler of all ponies. And frankly, I'm disgusted by it. It's bad enough that the princess seems to have forgotten the hard-working citizens of Equestria in favor of one particular mare. But now we know the reason behind this blatant favoritism. Princess Twilight Sparkle and Applejack are involved in a secret affair. I've long since thought Sweet Apple Acres has received an unfair amount of royal attention and royal contracts for catering and produce supplies, above and beyond the attention afforded by the crown to other hard-working farmers. But I never could have imagined it was because the owner was sleeping with the princess. Let's not pretend that previous visits to Sweet Apple Acres are just friendly reunions as we have been led to believe. There's a clear pattern here. Princess Twilight goes to Sweet Apple Acres, spends some time there, Applejack's mood becomes inexplicably brighter, and then fresh apples appear in Canterlot Castle kitchens. All while the rest of us barely get a moment of the princess's attention. This isn't just favoritism, this is something far worse. Applejack is being rewarded with more than just royal visits and the ability to say Princess Twilight is her friend. I'm honestly appalled that Princess Twilight, who once spoke of fairness and equality for all ponies, has allowed herself to be so consumed by her carnal desires that she has allowed herself to become corrupted. I know I'm not the only one who sees this. Twilight's failure to separate her personal feelings from her royal obligations is undermining everything she's supposed to stand for. There are dozens of ponies who could use her help, but instead she's preoccupied with her own disgraceful affair. It's outrageous. The rest of us deserve better than this. We deserve a princess who treats every pony equally. Not one who plays favorites and uses her position to indulge in personal relationships under the guise of royal duty. It's time for Twilight to be honest about what's really going on, and for Applejack to stop exploiting their sexual escapades for her own gain. This imbalance of power is a stain on Equestria, and it's about time the princess realized the consequences of her actions. Yours in outrage, a concerned and disillusioned citizen of Equestria.
Dear Equestria's Elite Gossip Gazette, I cannot sit by any longer without speaking out about the most appalling situation in Equestria today. Applejack's undeniable manipulation of Princess Twilight Sparkle. It is painfully obvious that Applejack has used her so-called friendship with Princess Twilight to seduce her for her own gains. I don't need to tell you how charming Applejack can be when she wants something. That sweet smile, those big puppy dog eyes, the honest appeal that gets her out of trouble. But this time, she has gone too far. Princess Twilight has fallen prey to Applejack's manipulative tactics, and it's plain to see that she is a victim as much as the other ponies Applejack has trampled to get what she wants in life. Every pony knows by now that Applejack has been the one to pull all the strings behind the scenes, manipulating poor Princess Twilight to give her extra resources for Sweet Apple Acres, maybe even influencing the decisions that affect the entire country. Applejack has been playing the role of the sly seductress, making Twilight think that their bond is something more than it actually is. She must have convinced the princess that only she understands her, and that's where the real damage is being done. Applejack has Princess Twilight wrapped around her calculating hoof, and every pony can see it except Princess Twilight herself, who is too blinded by their supposed special connection to notice how Applejack is using her for personal profit and power. Twilight, as our princess, should know better than to let any pony, especially some ponies so manipulative, take advantage of her. It's high time that Applejack's web of deceit is exposed and Twilight realizes that she's being used. We need to stage an intervention, or storm the castle, or something to save Princess Twilight from herself and her evil lover. Yours sincerely, a concerned and furious citizen.
Dear Equestria's elite gossip gazette, I simply cannot hold my tongue any longer when it comes to that insufferable Applejack and her oh-so-perfect family. It's high time someone said what we're all thinking about that dirt-covered schemer and her blatant manipulation. Not just of Princess Twilight Sparkle, but of every pony around her. And believe me, I'm just the pony to set the record straight. First of all, let's talk about Applejack's so-called honesty. Oh, please. That mare wouldn't know honesty if it hit her in the face with one of her rotten apples. She pretends to be this noble, salt-of-the-earth farmer, but I know the truth. She's a cunning opportunist, playing every pony for fools. And don't even get me started on that disgusting amount of attention she's been getting from Princess Twilight Sparkle. It's obvious she's using her country charm, if you could call it that, to wrap Princess Twilight around her hoof. And why? For personal gain, of course. Sweet Apple Acres has been benefiting from Twilight's royal attention for ages. Filthy Rich, a pony-filled business owner of utmost caliber and impeccable character, has been far too kind in dealing with the Apples and their family business. But I see through it all. Applejack has him mesmerized. He's always talking about their strong family values and traditions. All I see is a mare who knows how to manipulate ponies into thinking she's something she's not. And a family so stuck in their old ways, it took whoring one of them out to keep them relevant in the modern marketplace. But the real crime is the effect Applejack and her cursed family have on the next generation of young ponies. Take Diamond Tiara, for example. She used to be the pride and joy of Ponyville, a shining example of poise, ambition, and class, until that meddlesome Apple family got their dirty little hooks into her. Ever since she started spending more time with them, Diamond Tiara has been different, and not in a good way. She's lost her edge, her drive, her ambition. Instead of aspiring to greatness, she's off helping ponies who have nothing to offer her and wasting her potential on frivolous nonsense. It's utterly disgraceful, and I blame Applejack and her family for corrupting her. Applejack is only one example of how manipulative that herd of dirty farmers are, and how they can influence ponies of higher social status to get what they want. Let's not forget how Applejack has been poisoning the Princess Twilight's mind against the rest of us. We've all heard her talking about the other elements of harmony over the years, how she dismisses their so-called friends behind their backs. Applejack is always quick to undermine Rainbow Dash, calling her a show-off and a braggart. She belittles Rarity's sophistication, accusing her of being too prissy. She's clearly jealous of ponies who have what she doesn't: class, refinement, and real talent and success. Applejack may have fooled ponies with her humble farmer act, but she hasn't fooled me. and it has been gratifying to read that others are finally seeing the truth too. She's a manipulative social climber, plain and simple. It's bad enough that she sunk her hooves into Twilight, so to speak. Now she's destroying everything good in Ponyville, one pony at a time. It's time some pony stood up to that conniving mare before she does even more damage. I, for one, won't sit back and let her tear apart the values and standards we've worked so hard to uphold in this town. Some ponies are meant to stay in the dirt where they belong, and Applejack is certainly one of them. Sincerely, Ponyville's voice of reason and decorum.
Dear Equestria's Elite Gossip Gazette, I just have one burning question after reading your latest expose on Princess Twilight and Applejack. Are there any photos of the two of them together in the barn? Asking purely out of curiosity, of course. Yours eagerly, a loyal and very interested reader.
Dear Equestrian Elite Gossip Gazette, I am utterly disgusted by your recent article regarding Princess Twilight and Applejack. I've read many trashy tabloids in my time, but never have I encountered such a vile, unwarranted attack on a pony's character. As a friend of both Princess Twilight and Applejack, I must take a moment to voice my outrage at the outrageous lies you've published. What in Equestria possessed you to print such hurtful, fabricated nonsense but two of the most upstanding ponies in our land? The accusations made against Applejack are not only false, but completely reprehensible, and to claim that she is manipulative and that she has been using Princess Twilight for her own personal gain, or that she has been saying cruel things about the rest of her friends, this is not journalism. This is malicious slander. I understand that gossip sells, but this is beyond the pale. Applejack has dedicated her life to honesty, hard work, and integrity. Qualities you have twisted and distorted for your own profit. She would never behave in ways that you have suggested. You have taken a strong, dependable pony and painted her as some kind of villainous schemer, and I won't stand for it. I also take issue with the fact that your publication has printed follow-up letters from other vicious ponies, encouraging even more malicious rumors and contributing to the harm you've already done. How dare you give a platform to such vile accusations? You are irresponsible and should be ashamed of yourselves. As someone who's known Applejack for years, I can tell you with absolute certainty that she would never try to manipulate anyone, especially Princess Twilight. Applejack is one of the most honest, kind-hearted ponies in all of Equestria. She is always putting others before herself. Her sincerity is simply unmatched. It is one of the many qualities that makes her so admirable. And Twilight is equally remarkable, with a brilliance and warmth that lights up those around her without even trying. They are both such extraordinary mares, and I will always cherish a special connection I share with each of them. So it pains me deeply to see such brainless accusations trashing the reputations of two ponies I hold close to my heart. I shall not allow you to treat my friends so cruelly without reprisal. Let me be very clear. I am demanding a public retraction of your article, an apology to both Applejack and Princess Twilight, and stop the printing of any further unfounded gossip about them. They do not deserve what you have done. They are entitled to their private lives. If this does not happen, I will be calling on every pony I know to cancel their subscription and protest your reckless disregard for the truth. Applejack and Princess Twilight deserve to be treated with the respect and esteem. Your publication has gone too far, and I will not sit idly by while you continue to publish your poisonous lies. Yours in anger, Rarity, owner of Carousel Boutique, and personal friend to Applejack and Princess Twilight.
Breaking news! Princess Twilight, Applejack, and Rarity? The truth about Equestria's hidden polyamorous power trio. By Gilded Pen. In what can only be described as the most shocking revelation of the year, sources close to the royal circle have unveiled a truly scandalous secret. Princess Twilight Sparkle, Applejack, and Rarity of Carousel Boutique fame have been involved in a years-long secret polyamorous relationship and are clandestinely running the entirety of Equestria together behind closed doors. While responses to our revelatory previous article on this topic have shown that the public has long suspected a special connection between Twilight and Applejack, it turns out the relationship is far more complicated than we could have ever imagined. According to our sources, the three ponies have been involved in a discreet and intense romantic entanglement since before Twilight Sparkle even became an alicorn. But what's even more jaw-dropping is how this trio of mares is allegedly pulling the strings of Equestria's political and social structure, making key decisions that affect the whole country in secret, all under the guise of friendship meetings. A hidden relationship? Princess Twilight has been the picture of propriety, ruling with grace and wisdom since she took her newly established seat of power in Canterlot. Meanwhile, Applejack, the hard-working farm pony, has been charming the hearts of many with her down-to-earth nature, while Rarity wowed ponies across Equestria with her clothing lines and trend-setting fashions. But the truth, as we've uncovered, is far more titillating than anyone could have ever predicted. The deep connection between these three were first hinted at when Princess Twilight was discovered to be planning a secret rendezvous with Applejack at Sweet Apple Acres, despite official royal duties needing her attention elsewhere following her recent trip to Saddle Arabia. At the same time, Rarity just happened to arrive back from many weeks in Manhattan, right as this rendezvous was due to occur. Coincidence? We at the Gazette think not. Rarity, as it turns out, has been playing a key role in the romantic dynamics between herself, Applejack, and Princess Twilight. Sources claim that Rarity has been the glue holding the secret polyamorous relationship together for years, long before Princess Twilight Sparkle ascended to alicornhood and took the throne. With her flair for discretion and her meticulous attention to detail, Rarity has masterfully orchestrated many a clandestine rendezvous and managed to keep their forbidden love hidden from the prying eyes of Ponyville and, latterly, all of Equestria. But behind the scenes of this supposedly idyllic secret arrangement lies a darker narrative. We suggest that Rarity, with her romantic ideals and yearnings for connection, may have been unwittingly ensnared by Applejack's cunning manipulations. Applejack, as evidenced by the many, many letters we've received decrying her character as a mere mask she wears, has allegedly used her charm and rugged charisma to sway Rarity's affections, convincing her to shoulder the burden of maintaining secrecy while reaping the benefits of their shared intimacy. Rarity, ever the hopeless romantic, reportedly justified her sacrifices by believing in the strength of their bond and the potential for harmony between the three of them. We at the Gazette actually have her on record declaring, "I have always cherished the special connections I share with each of them." However, whispers now paint her as yet another victim of Applejack's scheming, a mere pawn in a relationship where the farmer allegedly wields control, subtly isolating Rarity and Princess Twilight from others to ensure their loyalty to her. While Rarity continues to outwardly support her partners with unwavering devotion, the question remains, is she truly an equal participant in this love triangle, or has she been drawn into a web spun by Applejack's calculated ambition? Only time will reveal the truth behind this tangled and torrid affair. The secret power play. It doesn't end there. This trio of mares is reportedly not only in love with one another, but are also said to have been running Equestria from behind the scenes. Applejack and Rarity, who are, we reiterate, private citizens who were not elected to power, are allegedly making key decisions, orchestrating policies and shaping the future of the kingdom with unparalleled influence. While Princess Twilight is officially the ruler of Equestria, it's said that her covert lovers are the ones pulling the strings from the shadows. From agricultural policy to fashion diplomacy, this trio is said to be in charge of it all, with no one the wiser. Until now. The secrecy has been key. In public, the trio maintains a facade of just friends and loyal companions, but behind closed doors, the romantic and political alliance has been growing stronger. Sources describe private meetings between the three in the royal chambers, where they discuss everything from national security to illicit private affairs. What began as a friendship between the princess and her closest companions has evolved into something far more intricate, and no one ever suspected a thing until the Gazette broke their story wide open. A kingdom in the hooves of 3. What does this mean for the future of Equestria? Is Princess Twilight truly in control of Equestria, or is she simply a puppet? Could it be that Applejack is the true mastermind, with Rarity as her loyal minion, and Twilight as the public face of a deeply complicated power struggle? As of now, the full extent of their secret operations remains unknown, but one thing is clear. This scandal is bound to shake Equestria to its core. Whether this is a romantic power trio or a political cabal, the truth is that this trio has been operating with a level of control that no one suspected. Stay tuned for more developments as we continue to uncover the truth about Equestria's most intimate and influential secret.
Dear Equestria's Elite Gossip Gazette, I can no longer stand by and watch as Equestria continues its downward spiral under the leadership of Princess Twilight Sparkle and her increasingly questionable circle of influence. After reading your most recent article about the so-called secret polyamorous power trio, I am absolutely appalled by the foolishness of allowing such a scandal to unfold in the first place. Equestria deserves better. It's time for Princess Celestia and Princess Luna to return and take their rightful places on the thrones once more. There's no denying that Twilight Sparkle has accomplished much in her brief time as ruler, but it's clear that she is in over her head. The very foundation of our kingdom seems to be crumbling, built on personal connections, secrecy, and misguided attempts at inclusivity rather than the wisdom and leadership we once knew. I have watched in dismay as the respect for the crown has eroded under Princess Twilight's rule. Her obsession with fostering relationships with creatures from outside Equestria, who have no understanding of our traditions or values, has left native ponies sidelined in their own land. This influx of griffins, changelings, dragons, yaks, and Celestia knows what else has disrupted the harmony we once cherished. These creatures do not share our history, our culture, or our way of life, yet Princess Twilight seems to prioritize their needs over those of her own ponies. Or maybe she's just too wrapped up in her own sex life to care about what her crass decisions are doing to normal, hard-working pony folk. If Twilight and her friends truly cared about Equestria, they wouldn't be embroiled in ridiculous and distracting gossip while allowing non-pony influences to dilute what makes our nation unique. The citizens of Equestria deserve a ruler who upholds the values of our forebears, not one who compromises them to appease outsiders. It's time for strong leadership that puts ponies first and focuses on what's best for our kingdom, not for Twilight's personal agenda. We need the wisdom and experience that Princess Celestia and Princess Luna provided. They ruled with grace, fairness, and a deep understanding of what it meant to serve Equestria as a whole. Under their reign, the country thrived. The balance of power was respected, and the needs of ponies came first. Twilight may be a great friend, and I posit she might have been a good lover too, but it's clear she is struggling as a ruler. Equestria deserves a monarch who is clear-headed, sensible, and unwavering in the face of adversity. Celestia and Luna earned their places as rulers and should never have been allowed to retire if the country wasn't ready for it. We are not ready, and I fear we may never be while Princess Twilight allows herself to be consumed by petty scandals and divisive personal alliances. It's time for the princesses to return and restore order to Equestria. We ponies need their leadership now more than ever. Sincerely, a concerned and furious citizen.
To Equestria's Elite Gossip Gazette. It's high time that the truth be said aloud, especially given the ridiculous antics playing out in Canterlot right now. Equestria's leadership has become a fiasco under Princess Twilight Sparkle, and it's becoming more and more apparent that an Equestria run solely by mares is forgetting the importance of stallions in the realm. The recent revelations about the polyamorous relationships between Princess Twilight, Applejack, and Rarity are not only scandalous, but also highlight the bizarre priorities of our current rulers. I'm all for equality, but let's not pretend that a kingdom governed by mares sleeping with mares is in any way the ideal model for stability. What we're witnessing is the marginalization of stallions' voices, which should be valued more in matters of governance and power. The lack of male influence in the royal court is alarming. The fact that there's no strong stallion figure in Princess Twilight's life to keep her grounded and balanced speaks volumes. Her leadership has become clouded, and these reckless distractions are proof of that. It is clear that Princess Twilight needs a strong stallion at her side, not just as a husband, but as a king. A high-born stallion with the proper pedigree and respect could be the steadying force both she and this country desperately need right now. Princess Twilight should marry such a stallion, and together they would restore the natural order and bring some much-needed reason and discipline to the throne. With a stallion in charge, there would be no more rumors of clandestine affairs or corruption. And certainly, there would be no way a manipulative mare like Applejack could influence Princess Twilight for her own gains anymore. It is simply unnatural for mares to be burdened with the weight of leadership alone. History has shown that the strongest and most prosperous times for Equestria were when stallions were an integral part of governance. It is not a mare's role to rule, but to nurture, to create life, and to support a strong, capable stallion who can lead with clarity and authority. Twilight has proven herself brilliant in many ways, but her judgment has clearly been clouded by her emotions and ill-advised entanglements. The solution is simple. Princess Twilight must wed a stallion of noble lineage who can guide her and help restore balance to the nation. Moreover, it is imperative that she fulfills her natural role as a mare by bearing heirs to the throne. Nothing would ground her more effectively or help her see the error of her ways than experiencing motherhood and the responsibilities it entails. Being impregnated by a high-born stallion would not only secure the future of Equestria's monarchy, but would also remind Twilight of her proper place as a nurturer and supporter, not the sole ruler. A husband of the right stature would ensure that Twilight steps back from the throne to allow a male perspective to steer Equestria toward its former glory. With a stallion as the head of the kingdom, the chaos and rumors would end, and Equestria would once again be a land of harmony and order. It is time to return to tradition, to the way things should be, for the good of our nation and all its citizens. Sincerely, a concerned stallion of Equestria.
Dear Twilight, I have to start this letter by saying how super duper sorry I am. I never ever meant any of this to happen. I feel absolutely awful that all this terrible gossip is causing you, Applejack, and Rarity so much trouble. You know me. I just wanted every pony to be happy and have fun. But now everything's gone all topsy-turvy with these mean, awful rumors about your relationship, and Applejack being some kind of manipulative abuser spreading like wildfire through Ponyville. It's like the whole town has been turned upside down. There are reporters everywhere, poking around in every corner, asking all sorts of invasive questions. They're showing up at Sugarcube Corner, at Sweet Apple Acres, even at Carousel Boutique. I saw one pony hiding in the bushes near Fluttershy's cottage with a camera. It's a circus, Twilight, and it's making life miserable for every pony. I can only imagine how much worse it is for you three. Applejack is so strong, but I can see how much this is wearing her down. She's been working herself even harder than usual just to avoid the stares and whispers. And those lies about her being some kind of manipulative abuser? They're downright disgusting. She's one of the most honest and caring ponies I know. It breaks my heart to hear ponies say such day, and it took everything I had not to start crying right there next to the strawberry stand. And poor Rarity. Oh, Twilight, she's trying so hard to keep her composure, but I can tell she's completely devastated. She's always been so proud of her reputation, and now it feels like every pony is just ripping it to shreds. I saw her close up the boutique early yesterday after a couple of ponies came in asking horrible, inappropriate questions about you and Applejack. She looked so sad and hurt when she left. It's just not fair. I can't even imagine how you're feeling with all this chaos going on. I know you've faced big challenges before, but this kind of personal attack? It's a whole different kind of awful. I just want you to know that no matter what, I'm here for you. And so are all your friends. We're all going to get through this together. I feel like it's all my fault, Twilight, and I'm so sorry. If I hadn't been so careless when I was picking up my party supplies, maybe none of this would have happened. I never meant for things to get out of hand like this. Please, if there's anything I can do to fix this, or help make things better, just say the word. I'll do anything to make things right. In the meantime, please give Applejack and Rarity a big hug from me, and tell them I love them both so much, just like I love you. I know it's hard right now, but I'm holding on to the hope that we'll all get through this and come out stronger. When you're back, we'll have the biggest, happiest, most love-filled reunion party ever! With all the stories I have, Pinkie Pie.
Dear Pinkie, first of all, thank you for your letter. Just hearing from you reminds me that no matter how loud the chaos gets, I have ponies in my corner who genuinely care about me. That means more than I can express right now. You always have a way of bringing light into the darkest situations, and I can't tell you how much I needed to hear your kind words. That said, Pinkie, I don't know how to deal with this. I really don't. I thought I'd learned how to handle public criticism after the whole friendship journal fiasco. But this is something else entirely. Back then, the backlash was about our experiences of friendship and what others could infer from our experiences. It was about the idea of me, not this. Not about me personally, or my relationships, or who I am as a pony. Now, it feels like every pony in Equestria thinks they have the right to scrutinize my private life. And it's not just me, it's Applejack, Rarity, you. Even Starlight Glimmer told me she overheard some reporters at the Castle of Friendship speculating about whether she knew anything juicy to share. It's invasive, it's humiliating, and I don't even know where to begin addressing it. You know me, Pinkie. I like to think through problems. I like to analyze them, break them down, and then find solutions. But how do you solve a problem like this? How do you find something that feels so much bigger than you? How do you make ponies stop believing lies when they seem so determined to do so, or have their own agendas that the lies are playing into? And Applejack. Celestia, help me, Pinkie. I haven't seen or heard from her since all of this started, and it's tearing me apart. I keep wondering if she's angry with me, if she blames me for everything that's happening. Sweet Apple Acres is her heart and soul, and her reputation is what keeps it afloat in hard times. If ponies are looking at her differently because of this mess, it must be devastating to her. And yet, she hasn't reached out. I don't know if it's because she's too hurt, too busy, or if she just doesn't want to speak to me right now. The thought that I might have caused her so much pain is unbearable. I haven't seen or heard from Rarity either. Not a single word. It's so unlike her. She always knows what to say in difficult situations, always has some clever reassurance to make things seem less dire. But now, nothing. And the longer I go without hearing from her, the more I worry that she's avoiding me because she's angry. I keep imagining her sitting alone in Carousel Boutique, upset and with no pony to comfort her. and it breaks my heart to think I might be the reason why. I can't help but feel like I've let them both down, Pinkie. I'm supposed to be the princess. I'm supposed to be the one who holds us all together. Instead, I feel like I'm the one driving us apart. I don't know how to fix this. Pinkie, I don't know how much of this I can take. All this talk about my romantic entanglements is making me question myself in ways I've never questioned myself before. I thought I understood my relationships with my friends, but now I feel like I'm being forced to analyze every glance, every touch, every moment of closeness, trying to gauge whether some pony could misinterpret it. There's a part of me, what I'm trying so hard not to listen to, that wonders if the rumors have taken hold because there's a kernel of truth somewhere in them that other ponies have spotted, but I haven't. And that terrifies me. I want to believe we'll get through this. I want to believe that together we can rise above the lies and the gossip and remind every pony of the real magic of friendship. But right now, I don't know if I have the strength. I'm tired, Pinkie. I'm so tired. Thank you again for your letter. You're always a source of comfort and joy. I'm so grateful for you. Please take care of yourself. If you see Applejack or Rarity, please tell them I'm here if they need me. With gratitude, Twilight Sparkle.
Headmare's Office, School of Friendship, Ponyville. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Bramblehorn, I am writing to inform you about a serious incident involving your son, Flint Bramblehorn, that occurred recently at the School of Friendship. After careful review of the situation, I have made the difficult decision to suspend Flint for 1 week in light of his actions. Earlier this week, Flint engaged in bullying behavior directed toward a fellow student, Griselda Griffin, making derogatory remarks about her species and stating that she doesn't belong in Equestria. He was witnessed saying such things on several occasions, which culminated in a physical altercation in which Griselda tried to defend herself. I want to be clear, this kind of behavior is entirely unacceptable at the School of Friendship, where our mission is to foster understanding, respect, and harmony among all creatures, regardless of their land of origin. When I spoke with Flint about his actions, he mentioned that his views were influenced by what he had read in the most recent edition of Equestria's Elite Gossip Gazette. Specifically, he referenced a letter that criticized Princess Twilight Sparkle and made unfounded, harmful statements about her personal life and leadership. While I respect freedom of expression, I must also acknowledge the harmful impact sensationalized and divisive rhetoric can have, especially on impressionable young minds. It is deeply concerning to me that a publication intended for adults has caused such discord amongst students. Comments therein go against everything we teach here at the School of Friendship. They sow mistrust, division, and prejudice, the exact opposite of the harmony Princess Twilight has dedicated her life to promoting. During Flint's suspension, I strongly encourage you to discuss the values of friendship, empathy, and respect with him. The situation provides an opportunity to reflect on the importance of treating others with kindness and understanding, regardless of differences. I would be more than willing to recommend materials or to facilitate a meeting with our school guidance counselor to support these discussions. When Flint returns to the School of Friendship, I hope to see growth, accountability, and a renewed commitment to the values we uphold. My door is always open if you have any questions or wish to discuss this matter further. Thank you for your attention and understanding. Yours sincerely, Headmare Starlight Glimmer.
Dear Applejack, I don't know what you're thinking, but I gotta say, I'm really mad at you right now. What's the big deal with not letting me come back from Appaloosa? Braeburn keeps saying things are just fine, and that I shouldn't worry about anything. Grammy Apple Rose keeps telling me to go play outside and not ask questions, even though when we first got here, she was all about answering our questions. Well, let me tell you something. This filly is not as clueless as y'all think, and she is not about to sit here letting every pony treat her like some little stupid fool who can't handle the truth. I already heard about the rumors from some of the other kids in town. They're saying things about you and Twilight, about Rarity and about Sweet Apple Acres. I don't know it's true, but I know you've been trying to shut me out of all of it, like I'm some little fool who can't handle it. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not a fool anymore, and I'm sick of being treated like one. I'm coming home anyways, Applejack. You can try to keep me in Appaloosa for as long as you want, but I'm not staying here while you need me. You can't protect me from the truth forever, and I'm tired of feeling like I don't belong in my own family. All this hiding and pretending like everything is fine is making me feel like I don't matter. Well, I do matter, and you don't get to shut me out just because you think you're protecting me. You're my big sister, and I love you. I need to be a part of this. If you and Twilight and Rarity are going through something awful, I want to help. I hate the idea of you trying to cope alone. If Sweet Apple Acres is struggling, I want to know so I can help. I'm not some little fool who can't handle tough stuff. I'm family. And families stick together no matter what. So, I'm coming home, and we're gonna figure this out. Your little sister, Apple Bloom.
Dear Twilight, I have received the most unexpected and quite frankly disastrous visit from Pinkie Pie today. Her methods of sneaking into Carousel Boutique via the sewer system and up through my toilet was less than hygienic and rather alarming. I had to make her promise very strongly not to subject herself to such a revoltingly dirty adventure again. You know how I feel about cleanliness, and she had the audacity to arrive covered in filth. I had to force her to take an immediate shower before I could even consider letting her near me. However, I must admit, as much as I was horrified by her unsanitary entrance, I can't help but be moved by the reason behind Pinkie's actions. Apparently, after reading your letter, she became utterly distraught, thinking that I might be feeling so isolated and sad here at the boutique. And she couldn't bear the thought of me being alone, especially after everything that had been happening. It seems that the weight and rumors about my love life and the situation surrounding it has left us all feeling a little too distant. Pinkie said she had to come and give me a big hug to reassure me and lift my spirits. Of course, I was less than pleased with the idea considering her filthy state, but I cannot deny that the sentiment behind it was kind. It was so very Pinkie, so eager to make things right, even though her methods are unorthodox. She also mentioned that you've been interpreting my silence as anger, which I suppose is an understandable conclusion to draw, given the circumstances. I want you to know, Twilight, that I am not angry with you. Not even a little bit. I've just been so overwhelmed with everything that I don't quite know what to say or how to say it. But please, my dear, don't think for a moment that I'm angry with you. I would never. You are one of my closest friends, and it pains me that I have caused you worry or doubt. I should have communicated with you more, and for that I am deeply sorry. I promise once the dust settles a bit, we'll have time to speak properly, away from all this scandalous noise. Until then, I'll be here, doing my best to navigate the madness that comes with all of this. And I'll certainly do my best to keep an open heart for both you and Pinkie, sending you strength and fortitude. Rarity.
Dear Applejack, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I reckon I've got to warn you about something urgent. I woke up this morning to find a note pinned to Apple Bloom's pillow. reassuring me and Grammy Apple Rose that she and her friends are safe and sound, though they've gone off with Little Strongheart and the Buffalo to find a way back to Ponyville that we can't intercept. It seems the Crusaders couldn't stand being kept out of things any longer and decided to take matters into their own hooves. I figured you should know as soon as possible so you can make plans before they get any more complicated. Apple Bloom and her friends are good-hearted, but you and I both know how much trouble they can get into when they're determined to do something. I'm not sure when they'll arrive, so you and Big Mac might want to keep an eye out for them. If there's anything I can do to help from this end, just say the word. I tried to do as you asked and keep them out of things, but it just weren't to be. I'm sorry. Take care. Braeburn.
Royal Scandal exclusive. Rainbow Dash's explosive confrontation with Gazette reporter. Is she secretly involved in Applejack's manipulative polyamorous web? By Gilded Pen. In a shocking turn of events that has left the Gazette gasping for breath, one of the most daring and outspoken figures in Equestria, Rainbow Dash, has found herself at the center of a scandal that could shake the foundations of her carefully constructed public image. This morning, Rainbow Dash stormed into the offices of Equestria's elite gossip Gazette, demanding that our reporters cease their investigation into the controversial and potentially damaging polyamorous relationship involving Princess Twilight Sparkle, Applejack, and Rarity. Yet it was not just her fiery temper that raised eyebrows. It was her desperate involvement in the matter that has left many questioning what lies beneath the surface. While Dash's behavior was certainly aggressive, it was her intense personal reaction that has us speculating about her own entanglement in the scandalous love triangle. Eyewitnesses say Rainbow Dash threatened to set things straight, a phrase that seems oddly possessive given her supposed role as a mere friend. Why would a mere friend get so emotional about a bit of simple reporting? Could it be that Rainbow Dash is more than just a defender of her friends? Could she, in fact, be part of the polyamorous web herself? While Rainbow Dash has remained silent on that matter, the public is beginning to draw some uncomfortable conclusions. It's no secret that Applejack has been accused of manipulating those close to her, and it now appears that Rainbow Dash could be yet another victim of her seductive, controlling ways. Could Rainbow Dash have been roped into Applejack's web of manipulation? As the story develops, it becomes increasingly clear that Rainbow Dash's intense defense of Applejack might be less about their long-term friendship and more about something far more intimate. Adding fuel to the fire, Rainbow Dash has recently been spotted in the company of several different high-profile mares, including the stunning supermodel Misty Winds at this year's Great International Fashion and Creative Arts Exposition of Manhattan. This latest sighting, along with rumors of several other romantic entanglements with mares since Dash joined the Wonderbolts, paints a picture of a pony who is very open to dating multiple mares at once. Could this be further proof that Rainbow Dash is involved in multiple secret relationships, including a romantic one with Applejack? Maybe even Applejack, Rarity, and Princess Twilight? In fact, insiders are claiming that Rainbow Dash's defense of her friends may be more about protecting her own role in their immoral polycule than a simple act of loyalty. Sources close to the Wonderbolts report that Dash has been unusually secretive about her personal life lately, and has repeatedly tried to shut down any discussions that even remotely hint in her involvement in the affair. Her actions have raised eyebrows, particularly when viewed in light of her known history of relationships with multiple mares, and her devil-may-care attitude to being photographed with them. Could she be using her Wonderbolt status as a cover for a much darker, more insidious connection with the ponies secretly running the nation? We speculate that Rainbow Dash's emotional outburst could be the result of jealousy or a possessive desire to keep Applejack, and possibly the other members of the polycule, to herself. After all, Applejack has long been accused of manipulating those around her, and if she can control Dash, she could cement her hold over the entire polyamorous group. This raises troubling questions. Is Rainbow Dash truly a friend to these mares? Or is she part of their manipulative power play? Or is it something else entirely? Does the infamous Rainbow Dash actually like being dominated by a mere earth pony in the bedroom and isn't willing to let the truth of that part of her wild sex life get out? The Equestria's elite gossip Gazette has received numerous tips suggesting that Rainbow Dash's involvement in the polycule might run much deeper than anyone imagined. It's clear that the public is thirsty for more information. with such high stakes and such tantalizing details emerging. The question now is just how far Rainbow Dash's loyalty to Applejack, Princess Twilight, and Rarity goes. As Rainbow Dash's close association with Applejack and her reported liaisons with multiple other mayors raise more questions than answers, we at Equestria's Elite Gossip Gazette will continue to bring you the most exclusive, scandalous updates on what might be Equestria's most explosive and divisive love affair. Stay tuned, folks. This is getting juicier by the day.
To Equestria's Elite Gossip Gazette. Subject: immediate cease and desist demand regarding defamation of Rainbow Dash. Dear Editor, we represent Rainbow Dash, a distinguished and decorated member of the Wonderbolts, whose personal and professional reputation has been unjustly maligned by the contents of your recent publication titled Rainbow Dash's Explosive Confrontation with Gazette Reporter. Is she secretly involved in Applejack's manipulative polyamorous web? Your publication's blatant and unsubstantiated allegations, specifically the insinuation that Rainbow Dash is involved in a romantic and/or polyamorous relationship with Princess Twilight Sparkle, Applejack, and Rarity, constitute nothing short of defamation. These claims are false, misleading, and have been fabricated with no regard for the truth or the well-being of our client. We hereby demand an immediate retraction and formal apology for the defamatory statements made in the aforementioned article. The article in question not only misrepresents a lawful and reasonable visit by Rainbow Dash to the Gazette offices, but also irresponsibly twists her actions into sensationalized speculation regarding her private life. Your insinuations about her loyalty to her friends being motivated by personal interest are a gross mischaracterization, as are your unfounded claims regarding her relationships with other mayors. Let it be clear that Rainbow Dash's engagement in this matter was solely driven by concern for her friends' reputations and the false and hurtful narrative your publication has been perpetuating. To suggest, as your article does, that Rainbow Dash is engaged in any such polyamorous affair is not only false, but also highly damaging to her personal, professional, and public image. These actions have caused serious harm to her character, and your decision to publish such malicious content is an egregious breach of journalistic ethics and responsibility. In accordance with equestrian libel laws, we are demanding that your publication cease and desist from any further dissemination of these defamatory allegations, retract the article, and issue a formal apology in the same prominent space that the original defamatory content appeared. You are required to take these actions within 72 hours from the date of this notice. Failure to comply will result in our immediate and formal legal actions, including, but not limited to, the filing of a lawsuit for defamation, damages, and any other relief deemed appropriate by the Equestrian Court of Law. The defamation of our client's character has already caused significant harm, and we will not tolerate the continuation of these malicious activities. Be advised that should you fail to meet our demands within the prescribed time frame, we will pursue all legal avenues available, including seeking damages for reputational harm, emotional distress, and the disruption of Rainbow Dash's professional and personal affairs. We strongly advise that you treat this matter with the seriousness it deserves and comply with our demands promptly to avoid the escalation of this legal dispute. Sincerely, the Wonderbolts legal team, on behalf of Rainbow Dash.
Free speech under fire. Is the polyamorous power trio silencing the press? Editorial by Equestria's Elite Gossip Gazette. In a stunning development, the legal team representing the Wonderbolts has forced Equestria's elite gossip Gazette to retract our previous claims implicating Rainbow Dash in the controversial polyamorous relationship between Princess Twilight Sparkle, Applejack, and Rarity. After receiving a cease and desist letter from the Wonderbolts' legal team demanding a full retraction and formal apology, we have no choice but to comply. While Rainbow Dash has now been exonerated from any involvement in the reported polyamorous power trio, the situation surrounding her outburst at our offices still raises questions. Her fiery defense of her friends and her actions in the weeks prior certainly suggest a deep level of involvement in their private lives. However, at the request of Rainbow Dash's legal representatives, we retract our earlier insinuations regarding her personal involvement in the relationship. However, while Rainbow Dash may have successfully shielded herself from further scrutiny, the explosive allegations involving Princess Twilight, Applejack, and Rarity remain firmly in place. The Gazette stands by its original reporting, which has now prompted an even deeper investigation into the nature of their secretive and scandalous relationship. It is worth noting that despite the legal pressure to retract our statements about Rainbow Dash, the core issue remains. Princess Twilight Sparkle and her so-called friends are at the heart of one of the most talked about love triangles in equestrian history. Whether or not Rainbow Dash is involved, the questions surrounding the relationship between Applejack, Twilight, and Rarity are not going away. In fact, even as we update our coverage, our sources continue to provide new revelations. More evidence suggests that Princess Twilight's relationship with Applejack and Rarity is anything but a simple friendship. Behind closed doors, the trio is seen engaging in highly intimate behaviors, fueling rumors of a polyamorous relationship that goes far beyond the bounds of even what the public has been told by us. This dynamic, shrouded in secrecy and only further complicated by the actions of those involved, raises more questions than it answers. As for Rainbow Dash, while we are no longer pursuing allegations of her involvement in this web of intrigue, it does raise the broader issue of just how far these four mares are willing to go to protect their secrets. With Rainbow Dash now effectively removed from the picture, one has to wonder, what lengths will Princess Twilight, Applejack, and Rarity go to in order to keep their relationship under wraps? And why have they remained so tight-lipped about the growing scandal surrounding their personal lives? Equestrian media and the public deserve answers. It's clear that something far more complex and secretive is at play here, and so the Gazette will continue to pursue this story, no matter how deep the web of deceit goes. This retraction of our claims against Rainbow Dash does not absolve the trio of this ever-growing scandal. If anything, it only deepens the mystery surrounding the tangled relationships at the heart of this story. Stay tuned for more updates as we dig further into the heart of this mystery, and as always, we will bring you the most exclusive details of the unfolding situation.
Hey, Spike. I've been sitting here for hours, trying to get the words out. But every time I think I've got it, it feels like my hooves won't move the right way to hold the quill, and I just write nothing at all. I always thought I was the one who could handle anything, but right now, I feel weaker than a newborn kitten. This whole mess we're in. I can't even begin to explain how it got this bad. Feels like I'm stuck in some kind of nightmare I can't wake up from. Every time I try to shake it off, it just comes back stronger. I never thought a simple moment of happiness with my friends would lead to all of this. The gossip, the rumors, the lies. I had no idea. I just wanted a simple moment of nostalgia and connection to let Twilight have something real, something honest, away from the crown and the spotlight. I thought maybe we could all just be normal ponies again, just friends enjoying each other's company in Ponyville, at least for a little while. But I was wrong. I should have known better. I let my own wants get in the way of my better judgment. I thought if I could show Twilight something grounded, something without all the royal trappings, maybe we could make things work like we used to. But now she's caught up in all this stupid scandal, and it hurts. Hurts me more than I thought anything ever could. Every time I hear another rumor, it feels like a punch to the gut. I keep thinking if I kept my mouth shut, if I'd kept it simple, maybe none of this would have happened. I feel like I've ruined everything, and I don't know how to fix it. I'm trying my best to be strong for every pony else, but inside, I'm falling apart. I can't look at myself without feeling ashamed. Twilight didn't deserve this. Rarity didn't deserve this. And I sure as hey didn't deserve this neither. I tried to keep Applebloom and the Crusaders out of it as much as I could, but I couldn't even do that much right. I told Braeburn to keep them in Appaloosa, but they snuck out and left for Ponyville after they got wind of the stuff in the Gazette. They got help from Little Strongheart and the Buffalo to make their way back safely. Left an old pin to Applebloom's pillow for Braeburn and Grammy Apple Rose to find. I didn't know whether to be relieved or madder than a hornet when he sent word of that. I mean, I'm glad they're safe, don't get me wrong, but what on earth were they thinking, traveling cross-country like that? Applebloom arrived late last night. She managed to sneak past the reporters camped outside the farm with help from Little Strongheart and the Buffalo. They had it planned out in secret, knowing it would be nearly impossible for Applebloom and her friends to make their way back into Ponyville without getting noticed. So, the Buffalo used the dense brush and the less traveled paths around the outskirts of the farm to cover their tracks. Little Strongheart guided them carefully, making sure they stayed off the main roads and out of sight of any watchful eyes. It wasn't easy, though. Applebloom had to stay low, keeping her head down whenever she heard a rustling in the distance. She was nervous, and I could tell. She told me that she had to move fast, ducking into the thickest parts of the trees whenever they saw any pony who might be scouting around. The Buffalo had their backs the whole way, offering quiet guidance when they reached the less traveled areas. In the end, it was their knowledge of Ponyville's hidden trails that kept her safe. It wasn't foolproof, but they got her and her friends home. Applebloom said the hardest part was walking the last stretch back to the farmhouse after the Buffalo left her at the tree line. She could see the reporters camped by the edge of the road. She made it past those varmints, thankfully, right in the nick of time before they could spot her. She didn't tell me this part until after she was safely inside. When she got home, she said the only thing that kept her from worrying about the reporters was knowing she had a place to come back to, no matter what, and the fact that she was more worried about me than she was of anything else. When she walked through that door, I could feel the tension hanging in the air. She looked tired, sure, but there was something else in her eyes I couldn't quite place. When I asked her about it, she didn't look at me first. She just stood there, like she was trying to figure out how to say what she knew was gonna be hard. She finally came out with it and said, "I didn't want to worry you, Applejack, but I had to come back. I couldn't stay away from you and the family any longer." And I could tell she was saying it more for herself than for me. I'd heard how the Crusaders was all getting worried about us, about what's been going on in Ponyville with all the rumors and the reporters. I had a whole speech ready to tell her how worried I was, how dangerous it was for her to run off like that, how stupid she was for what she did. But I didn't want to make her feel worse. The whole mess we're in is bad enough as it is. Instead, I just pulled her into a hug, tight as I could, and whispered how proud I was of her. That I'd always be here to protect her, even if she felt like she had to be brave on her own. We talked about it a lot. Applebloom told me that she and her friends were just trying to make sense of everything from the little they knew. She didn't want to be kept in the dark, she said, and she felt like we were trying to shield her from what was happening, like we didn't trust her. And honestly, she was right. I didn't want to drag her into this mess, but I should have known that she'd want to be part of the conversation. I owe her more than just a quiet life on the farm while everything else falls apart. She's growing up, and I plumb forgot that in my haste to cushion her from the scandal. But when she said she wanted to talk to me about the whole mess with Twilight and Rarity, I knew that conversation was gonna be harder. She was ready to hear it, the full extent of what's going on with all the rumors. But I wasn't ready to lay it all out. Not yet. I had to think about how best to explain everything. The hurt, the mistakes, the damage I had done to Twilight and Rares. I told Apple Bloom I would sit down with her in the morning when we've both gotten some sleep. She had to be content with that. And that's where we're at now. Apple Bloom's back in Ponyville, safe and sound, but I can't shake this heavy feeling in my chest. Can't sleep a wink. I keep replaying everything in my head, trying to figure out what I could have done differently. How I could have kept my little sister from feeling like she had to sneak away like that and put herself in danger for me. Every pony I love lately has been put in danger because of me. I've been pacing around the house all night, just trying to find some peace of mind, but nothing's working. So, I started writing to you, Spike. Maybe if I can get my thoughts out of my head, get some of this chaos onto paper instead, I can think clearer. But it's hard, Spike. I can't seem to make sense of anything anymore. I'm relieved Apple Bloom's back, don't get me wrong. I just keep thinking about what else might be coming. I've been avoiding talking to Twilight. Not sure where to even start with talking to her. How do I explain everything without making it worse? I'm so ashamed. Rarity sent me a letter. She's been so quiet, but she had a few things she wanted to say, even if we can't speak directly right now. With all the reporters outside our places, Derpy Hooves and the postal system are the only way we can communicate without them getting their hooves on anything. Derpy started paying house calls to help us out, since we can't exactly get to the post office right now. I know I should send Rarity a letter back, telling her everything I'm feeling just like I'm telling you, Spike. But I don't know if it's enough. We're all stuck in this mess, and I don't know how to fix it. I haven't been able to bring myself to reach out to Twilight at all. I should have done it already. I should have been there for her. But I can't bring myself to contact her right now. I'm the one who dragged her into this mess, and I'm scared. Scared of what she'll think of me. Scared of what she'll say. I should have just been honest from the start, but I wasn't, and now I don't know how to undo the damage. I know I have to face her eventually, but right now, I just don't know if I'm strong enough. That's why I'm writing to you instead. You've always been there for me, Spike, and I don't know what I'd do without you right now. I'm trying my best to hold it all together, but I don't know how much longer I can keep this up. Please take care of yourself, and don't let this get to you too much. I don't expect a reply. Don't need one either. I just needed to get this all out. Don't worry about me. Applejack.
together like 1, 2, 3. Here forever, you and me. Stay together like pen to paper. We're forever. I could live a life full of wonder. Without you, nothing will do. What if we ran away? Just us, no plans inside. What if we took our dreams, the stories we could write?